Hi Christian, hi Arthur. Thanks for having us here at the Atletikum. A great pleasure to be here.
Thank you. It's our pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, for sure. Can you tell us what the Atletikum is all about?
Yeah, I started here at the Atletikum 4 years ago. So to understand that, I have to say that it is part of the clinic, of the whole clinic, and our clinic, which is led by Dr. Schöpp, is specializing in sports medicine and joint arthroscopy, sports traumatology. And yeah, we had the idea to set up a movement laboratory specializing in sports performance and sports rehabilitation. That was the idea, and we're doing this for 4 years now.
Your clients here at the Atletikum are professional athletes mainly. How do you get to work with professional athletes all the time?
Yes, in Germany there is a word, it's called BG, and it stands for Berufsgenossenschaft. And all the professional athletes who competing at a high level are insured by the German Berufsgenossenschaft. And when they got injured, they come to a special hospital, like here in Duisburg, the BG Klinikum Duisburg. And this is why we get in contact with such a lot of professional athletes, and they come here in our movement laboratory at a special time point where we test the current rehabilitation status and their individual performance for guiding the rehabilitation process and for giving recommendations for the whole return to play process.
What are the main musculoskeletal problems these athletes are facing?
Well, I think we'll have to pick out 3 maybe. I choose the ACL, the ligament ruptures at the knee. We've got a big focus on knee injuries and ankle sprains, ankle injuries, chronic and acute ankle injuries as well, and of course muscle injuries, especially in football. We're facing a lot of muscle injuries. The game gets faster every year, and so we have to cope with them as well.
What role does the biomechanical assessment in that context play?
I think biomechanical measurements or biomechanical testing gives us a starting point for giving injury prevention, or for establishing or for developing injury prevention strategies, or giving an injured athlete a better strategy for his rehabilitation process. At what stage is he now? And we can see maybe he had problems with his joint kinematics, maybe he had problems with activation of specific muscle that got injured, or maybe he shows great compensatory deficiencies when he is developing forces, and we can measure it, and this is an objective evidence.
I'd like to add that in classic sports medicine we always had this static point of view. We had X-rays, we had MRIs, but no dynamic measurements. And so what we add in the whole process here is dynamic measurements. So we can use sport-specific tools and sport-specific data to get our athletes back on track.
What biomechanical methods do you use in particular?
Okay, I think we can summarize it on the main 3 pillars of biomechanical methods. So it's the joint kinematics, it's the force development by the muscles, and it's their muscle activity, which we measure with electromyography. And these 3 pillars we measure during whole movement tasks like running, jumping, sprinting, and change of direction task.
I very much like your approach of combining agility testing and 3D motion capture. What kind of insights do you get from this kind of performance testing?
In classic agility testing, we always limit ourselves to a view of the performance side, but combining agility testing and 3D motion capturing gives us the opportunity to have a closer look at the quality. How is the movement produced? How are muscles interacting, and how are joints moved by these muscles? So we get both the performance side and the functional side as well.
I'm a big fan of agility testing, and I think the main part during agility by combining agility test with motion capture systems is that we are testing the athlete in his classical environment, with classical movements and with where he feels well. And these typical sport-specific movements we can evaluate, and this is for me the most valid test to evaluate the current state of an athlete's performance.
And now we are revealing something. At the beginning you told us there's going to be something like ATHLETIKUM 2.0. What is it all about?
ATHLETIKUM 2.0 will be about splitting up our current movement laboratory, which is also our training facility, into two separate environments, because obviously our room is limited, and so we have to split up and get more room to guide our athletes in a better training environment. That's what we want to give our athletes.
So you're actually expanding.
We're expanding into a new facility, which gives us really high-end opportunities to train as well as test.
Okay.
And there we want to establish a really big functional training center with lots of innovative training methodologies to help the athlete get better and get quicker back to game.
Great. That's good. Very good to hear that. Well, thanks a lot for having us. It's always a pleasure to come. And
you're always welcome. Take care.
Thanks.